Thomas is in. Touchdown. Touchdown, Washington. Lofting one. He's got a man. It's McLaurin in stride. Touchdown, Washington. Hands it back. Chase Young. They're chasing him down the sideline. And Chase Young has a Washington touchdown.
And he does the...
He's like, come on.
That makes me laugh every time.
That deserves a wow.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the day after reckoning with your Ref the District team. I'm Nathan Perry. You can see my name there. You can see the Stoner at StoneDog23. How you doing, man?
What's up, Nathan? What's up, Trev? Good to see you, boys.
And of course, as he mentioned, we got Trevor in the house. Trev.
What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Doing good, because today, yes, you will be able to find us on our YouTube channel, streaming live as the graphic just showed, but we're also on our Facebook page, and we are also out there on Twitter. So if you can just let us know where you're watching, let us know the answer to this question right here: which players hurt themselves and which helped themselves? Because that's something what we will be discussing later on the show. So if you have some good input for that, we'd love to see what you have to say as well. Great show. So day after reckoning here with Ref the District, we like to go over the game before the day before, see what our feelings on it. Now, we all know it wasn't that great of a game, but it was also a preseason game. So we can't take too much stock into it, but I'm sure we'll still have quite a bit to talk about. I know those two are happy that they didn't make the trip out to watch the game. I was there, but thankfully I was heavily sedated for most of the game. So it was bearable, especially because it was in a sea of purple. So how you two doing though?
Oh, we're good. My mother has a message for you both. She's not able to watch the live tonight because she's watching some WNBA action, but she wants to say, "Hey, Stoner," and "Hey, Nathan," just like that, in those two different ways. So
Hey,
she says,
Mama Stores.
what's up with Mama Stores going after me already? It's too early.
I know. I like her.
Man.
I like Mama Stores. Well, she'll have to watch the replay. These will be on each of our platforms, so you can catch us there. It's also on any of your favorite podcast platforms. So whether or not that's Apple, that's Google, that's Spotify, or that's even your Amazon devices. I'm not going to wake mine up because they're listening.
Yeah, they're always
Alexa.
listening. Oh yeah, I wonder if we yell it. Hey Alexa, turn on Ref the District.
Now, thankfully, I have this right here. So we'd have Big Doug watching us. He's asking, "What's your favorite sedation method?" I'll tell you this. It was absolutely doing the tailgating beforehand with a variety of refreshments. My particular choice yesterday was Founders Oktoberfest, but I again will highly recommend to anyone to go ahead and do the tailgating beforehand, because the beer prices did not change from last week, and they're just absolutely ridiculous. For a single beer was just too pricey. So.
You know what I think? I think before we get into the debacle that was what happened on the field, I think we should talk about the follow-up on the fan experience, because we were all there last week, and then Trev and I weren't there this week. So, Nathan, you got to tell us, what was the fan experience specifically to those things that we had complaints about last week?
I don't have your laundry list of complaints.
You want me to get it
last
for you?
week. No, I'm good.
we're good.
Burgundy and gold, Trevor. Burgundy and gold. The for those who weren't watching our show on Thursday, Burgundy and gold is now our code for Trevor needs to unplug his mic and plug it back in again. He is on the quest to get a new microphone. So if you have some tips, go ahead and drop those in. We'll take those for him. But I don't have that laundry list. I can tell you this: the bathrooms still weren't that clean. I think people had a better sense of what was going on, though. So at least there was that, because I know that was one of our issues. Prices were still outrageous. And I think the main thing I want to talk about fan experience right now is it was abhorrent that there were way too many purple, cladded fans there. I expected some. Baltimore's just right up the street. It's a Maryland thing that people were there. So I get it. I get that we're going to have Baltimore fans that are going to be coming in. but they completely outnumbered the Washington fans. Like it was embarrassing. I honestly, I was striking up conversations because again, I was well liberated during the game.
Liberated?
Well, yeah, liberated.
I had
Inebriated.
libations. I was inebriated, absolutely, but I was also had no inhibitions. I had I was very liberated. I was very
Free.
very free. So Jazzy does say that the women's bathrooms were clean. So at least that was a good thing. But no, it was just too many Baltimore fans. Everyone I talked to, it was way too many. You heard it in the, I'm sure you guys heard it in the broadcast.
Yep.
Yeah, there was audible cheers every time they did something, great, which was unfortunately way too often last night. So it was unfortunate to kind of have that experience. We talked about how it's really not that bad when the fan experience isn't bad when the product on the field is good. Well, this really highlighted how when the product on the field isn't doing well, how all of that stuff is just compounded. Lots more fans, so the lines were crazy. I guess that's something I'll talk about that was different than last week. I felt like the lines moved pretty well last week. Yeah, lines were really held up this week.
And there's only probably 15,000 in the state. What are they going to do when there's 7?
It was not a full stadium whatsoever. So the fact that they were having that kind of issues week one is going to be an experience. But the district team will be out there almost in full force. Stoner, we're trying to convince Stoner he needs to go. So help us out with that in the comment sections right now, whether or not wherever you might be watching, tell Stoner he needs to go to week one.
It's week one.
Make the trip. Let's do it.
He says,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how things are flowing at that time. We'll see.
All right.
Okay.
So fan experience just still needs some work, and I think that's going to be something they're going to be working on throughout the season. I know that this is one of those things that they want to work on because when they get that new stadium, that's going to be the key, right? Like they want to be able to show like, hey, we've learned all these things and, we can compete with Jerry's World because we know
I think they're on a good track right now, though. They're on the right track.
I'm interested to see how it progresses through the season.
Did you guys see? Did you happen to see the viral video of the drone shot from the Cowboys practice? That was their practice facility.
Yep.
That thing was amazing. And
it doesn't help their football team at all.
Okay, fine. Whatever. It doesn't help their football team. That's fine. But it's something to be proud of. You don't think that we would love something like that wherever it's going to end up in D.C. or maybe they keep the practice stuff out in Ashburn, whatever. They need something like that. They also need, when that shot first started and it was going down where there were shops and restaurants and bars, they need that near the stadium. Now, this wasn't near the stadium. This was in the practice facility, which is kind of down the way a little bit. But still, that's something that would really enhance the fan experience. Can you imagine after the game just walking out into like a bar district and restaurants and all that after game, how awesome that would be? Now you just walk out and you go to your car because there's nothing, absolutely nothing close by.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they put that new stadium. I think that I'm more of the put it in an urban area kind of guy, and so you can kind of have that fan experience that goes on. But I know a lot of people prefer, having it, kind of a little bit out, so that way, they can do the tailgating. So that's a little bit more free for that part. There was some chatter from people when it came to the whole fact that I mentioned there was a lot of Baltimore people there. Part of that reason is because it's too far into Maryland. So they want to see it go down to Virginia, so it's easier for more, for those Southern Washington fans like Trevor himself, who needs to unplug his microphone. I can already tell because there was a little scratch in that. But the I don't know that I prefer. I definitely, granted, I'm a little biased. I'm in Annapolis, but I don't think going down into Virginia is going to really solve that problem. I think that winning's going to solve that problem.
Oh, of course. Oh, for sure. Winning will solve all the problems. Any problem that they possibly have. And that's not what they did last night. They didn't come anywhere close to winning. They didn't come close to winning over any fans or anything.
Lots of worrisome plays out there. In fact, why don't we go ahead and hit this right now with our go-goes and no-goes. So here's our segment, kind of studs and duds situation. This is the question that we've asked before: who has helped themselves and who has hurt themselves throughout this preseason 3-game against Baltimore? So, Trevor, why don't you hit us up with your first go-go?
I'm gonna go with David Bada, honestly. The German, I think he's German international player that we signed last year, kept him on over this year. He showed that if we ever need any help on the defensive line at times, he can provide that. I mean, he sacked Lamar Jackson because Baltimore sent out their ones. That's another story. But they sent out their ones, and David Bada got a sack, and I forgot who else got a sack. I know we had 2 on the night, but I was really impressed with the way he performed. So
I think his play has been so impressive. We put this out on the Ref the District Twitter just yesterday, but Tim Settle played quite a bit of that game, and he's pretty entrenched as a routine player for Washington. Mm-hmm. Is this maybe Bada's play a sign that they are trying to ship Tim Settle? Or
maybe, because I think what Ron said, the most of the guys who were playing out there were fighting for spots, right? Like the most of the people on the field.
However, he also said there were a few guys that were just going to have to suck it up and play quite a bit because it's just a numbers thing. Somebody. So
Tim Settle was probably that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Tim Settle and a guy like Jimmy Moreland who played most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much everybody's sure he's pretty much a lock as your fourth corner, most likely. So there were a few guys out there. John Bates, he's a lock. He was out there quite a bit.
Yeah.
So there were guys.
For Jimmy Moreland, I think he probably played quite a bit because we saw Torrey McTyer leave the game early. So unfortunate for him. We interviewed his dad, Tim. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. But how do you think Torrey's stock went? Did you think that injury is going to hurt him?
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to hurt.
You do?
I mean, it's going to hurt him in the fact that he's either going to go on the IR, or how are you going to take a guy who's in concussion protocol and all of a sudden put him on your roster in 4 days? Not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That can't. I don't even think that can happen, right? If you're in concussion,
we want it to happen.
I don't think you can cut him if he's on concussion protocols and things. So he's probably. I'm not sure the rules though. I don't know if you can go in injury designation if you played that last game, but because I know that was something that came up with Samus Reyes, who saw some playing action. And so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. How about you, Stoner? Any other go-go's for you that kind of impressed? We had David Bada from Trev, but who are some of the other players that really impressed you? Thought that hey, they made their case for the 53. That's it. That's his answer. That was kind of like that's a reminiscent of last week when we asked you what did you enjoy about the fan experience, and there was nothing. You had nothing for us. So no one impressed me. I mean, Bada, obviously, you got to be happy with his play.
I mean, sure,
he sacked Lamar Jackson.
Okay, and so did Rotimi. I think that's how you say his last name. These are two guys that are not going to be on the team.
Right. No, but he's a go-go from the night at least.
Okay,
David Bada, I got you, bro. You're a go-go.
I have a go-go. Yeah, David Bada, and I thought Tressway was somebody
he's a go-go forever.
Well,
now last week,
Stoner has been pretty hard on Tressway the last couple of games. Not being the coffin corner punter, all-world punter, best punter in the game. So he hasn't been that the first 2 preseason games. So it was good to see him get kind of back in form. So he's going to be a go for me. I have to admit, come on, the guys were shellacked, right? Like it was 37-3. You're not going to have a whole lot of go-goes. So
who's your go-go?
Mine was
Who's your go-go, Nathan?
Tressway. I said Tressway.
Tressway? Yeah.
That's
Oh,
mine.
okay. That's
Burgundy and
okay.
gold. You know who's not my go-go? Your mic. Your microphone's a no-go.
Your mic's always on the
Your
no-go
mic. Your mic's. Trevor exits stage right there. Let's get to the no-goes. Jazzy answered our question earlier, so she says Hopkins hurt himself. Who here has a different no-go? Because Hopkins, at least, hey, he put points on the board. Nobody else on the team managed to do that.
I don't think he hurt himself. I don't think he
could hurt himself. I think that they're just going to stick with him.
Right, exactly.
And they're going to lose 2 games by missed field goals.
That's a little aggressive. But
I put the over-under at 2.5, so I guess I'm taking the under on this. But they're going to – if they do not see kicker competition before the season's end,
they're not.
And if Hopkins happens to go, we'll say 12 and 15, fine. But if he goes something like 9 for 15, then why are we not bringing in another kicker for competition? I agree. He's making the roster. They're not bringing anybody in, even though there's probably going to be a couple of place kickers. On the
bring somebody in to light a fire under his butt. Like,
they're not going
let him know that I know, but they need to let him know that, hey, this is important. You need to step it up. Not just, I believe in him. I believe in him. I believe in him after every time he misses.
He knows that. He doesn't need that sort of pressure to be put on him. But they're not going to bring another guy in. What did Ron say is the reason that they haven't been sort of perfect in the preseason? He's been saying because of timing, because they're getting used to each other. So you want to bring in another kicker and start all over again in this process?
Well, how many times are we going to sit there after post game and watch Dustin Hopkins say that missed field goal was 100% me? How many more times do we have to hear that?
I'm going to guess 17. 17 times.
You think he's going to miss 17 field goals?
I think
he's not missing 7.
No, we're going to do Dollar Dollar a little in our recap on Dollar Dollar later. I'm going to put $1 on this one right now.
All right.
There are going to be more games where he has a missed field goal than he does that he doesn't miss them. So there's 17 games this season. I'm saying that he's going to miss a field goal in 9 of them.
Okay. I'm definitely picking that.
Hold on. Maybe not 9 of them. We'll say that he's going to miss a field goal in more games than he's not going to miss a field goal, right? So, or assuming he's attempting.
This is the most confusing dollar.
What the hell are you talking about?
In the end, if let's say he goes 9 for 15,
okay.
I'm going to say that even though that's 9 for 15, the full season, which 15 field goals is pretty low. Someone look up his stats. Let's see what he did last year. So,
he was 13 for his last 15, but I'll look it up. Keep going.
Yeah, look it up. So what I'm saying is there's 17 games in the season. Let's say he attempts field goals in 15 of those games. Okay. All right. I'm saying that in those 15 games that he's attempted a field goal, that he'll have at least missed one of those field goal attempts in more than half of those 15.
Can you please pick a different dollar bet? Because I don't even know what the hell you just said.
I'm not going to lie. I don't know.
Not even clue.
All right, fine.
So you're saying that if there's 12 games and he kicks 4 field goals and misses 2 of those, then you owe me $1.
All right, we'll see at the end. I don't think I can clear it up any further. I do think it's rather confusing, even myself as the person who's making the bet. I know what I want to say, or I know what I want it to be, but I don't know who can do it. Jazzy agrees with us. She wants to bring in another kicker.
Not going to happen. Sorry,
it's not going to happen. I agree.
Joey Sly.
There's going to be multiple kickers. Who was the kicker for? Who's kicking field goals?
The Ravens.
For the Ravens yesterday.
Yeah.
That wasn't Tucker.
Verite or whatever.
Verity.
He should be the guy who's giving Hopkins, some competition. They got him. He's literally up the road, so you can have him tomorrow to come down and do some practice field goals. You already watched him kick up and down the field because Lord knows they were doing that every like 5 minutes. How often were they scoring? It was ridiculous. So
as long as we get Dustin Hopkins 40 yards or below to kick a field goal, we'll be fine. So if our offense can't put it in the end zone, we can make it 40 yards or below, we'll be fine. Because he ain't making anything 40 yards and beyond. Not happening.
It's a struggle for him and the kicking team. So we are doing our goes and no goes. So our go-goes and no goes. We're on no goes right now. You can see the stats kind of going across there. The kicker was one of our suggestions from our listeners. Trevor, who do you got? Trevor, burgundy and gold first, and then we'll go ahead and we'll listen to Stoner's his no go, and then we'll listen to Trevor's no go.
There is a laundry list of no goes. The quarterbacks were bad. The running backs were bad. The receivers were bad. The linebackers were bad. The secondary was bad. Have I named pretty much everybody? They were bad. They were all bad.
Again, it was bad. It's a preseason game. We're not going to read too much into it. These, as Stoner, you like to say all the time, we're arguing over the guys who are like in the 5th and 6th roster spot.
Right.
So you know, but I'm asking for one person in particular who you think looked bad yesterday. Who was your no-go yesterday?
Okay, well, you guys are going to probably hate me for this, but Jarrett Patterson looked bad yesterday. He dropped 3 balls. He had 2 rushes for a -1 yard. Jarrett Patterson was bad. He was a no-go yesterday. Sorry, I'm not saying he's a terrible player, but for yesterday's game, he was bad. He did not help himself in any way.
I agree. I thought Jared Patterson was going to be my no-go, but now you took him. So now we're going to have to listen to Trevor. Trevor, you got to talk for at least a couple minutes to give me some time to think of another no-go here, which obviously there's plenty to pick from. But Trevor, who's your no-go?
So I'm gonna talk like
maybe not that, especially with your microphone. We can't afford you to talk that.
Yeah, right. You might go out.
So I remember I was preaching Kyle Allen should be quarterback 2, and he proved last night he does not need to be quarterback 2.
Right.
I don't think he's fully 100% healthy from that ankle. I think
probably
he's maybe 80 to 100%, 80% healthy, and he kind of showed a little hitch in his step a little bit. He just like the ball to Dax Milne was his best throw of the probably entire game. But his best throw of his series, and it was a great catch by Dax Milne. But Kyle Allen took a step back. I know he didn't play much in the last preseason game, didn't play at all in the first game, but to see where he was in regular season, then go through an injury, and then come back and play, like, he just doesn't look like he's ready to go.
Yeah, for a player who a lot of people thought could be QB2 going into the season, didn't look like it. You know, nope. And they showed a lot of faith in Heineke by not even letting him play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I do think that you're right.
Number 2.
Yeah, I think honestly, I do think he's going to make the final roster, but that's just because they want to have the QBs on the roster in case there's any health concerns and stuff, going into the season. So he's going to make the team, but I can't say that he did anything to really earn that at this point, other than being better than Montez. But even then, not like collectively, we know he's better. I think Montez probably had a slightly better game.
You know what they said for Montez before he was coming in, that he was warming up. And he was warming up doing like some what's the big term they do nowadays, where they either run or pass RPOs.
Yes, right.
That he was practicing RPOs because that's what he does well. And he goes, Steven Montez does RPOs well because he did it a few times. You do not want him running off the edge. Period. He looked like a lumberjack. He was slow. I don't know why they say that's his specialty.
In Colorado it was, but this ain't Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So
you're not playing the Air Force Academy.
No. Another no-goes is the linebacking depth.
Khaleke Hudson. That's who before you steal the name from me, that's gonna be my no-go is Khaleke Hudson.
So I'll segue into that. Linebackers suck. Go ahead.
Awful. They were awful. I just needed to get a name before you got like Kyle Allen was the very next one I thought of as far as a no-go. Patterson was going to be my first, but then Stoner took that. And then I was like, okay, Kyle Allen, I think he had an awful game, and then Trevor takes that one. So before Trevor starts going down this linebacker line, I was just like, Khaleke Hudson, he was awful. He's my no-go. But yeah, you're right. The linebackers were horrendous. Khaleke Hudson is somebody who I want to see do well, not just because he's wearing a Washington uniform, but just because I think that he has the athleticism to be a great, side to side linebacker for the team. And I just didn't feel like he's showing that. I feel like he's hesitating when it comes to getting to the ball. He did that last night. There's a lot of times where he's chasing people instead of actually getting them. And so, I don't think that he did himself any favors. The linebacking core after the ones who were sitting last night are worrisome. And I think that's an area where they're going to look for some of these people who are cut, and we'll see how they build out this roster after that, after the 53 man is set, because it's going to be very, very interesting, very, very telling.
Get David Mayo out of there. Get Joe Walker out of there.
Get your mic out of there.
If you have to keep anybody,
I don't know what's going on with Trevor's mic today. It's giving him more troubles now than usual. And this man, we love our boy Trevor. He's on several different shows, so you can catch him on a variety of shows. But it's only ours that he has these kind of issues with. But thankfully, this man loves us enough to be one of our co-hosts for the show. So we have a thing here called District Diamond. This is the Ref to District Diamond person. What was that? Stoner's doing a face now?
I was going to say about Khaleke Hudson.
Okay, right? You got something to say. Okay.
Yeah,
no.
With Khaleke Hudson. And what's funny is there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on between shows that we do. And Trevor will watch a play, and he'll say, we'll get a text or in our little message group or whatever, and he'll be like, he's gone. And then somebody else will screw up a play like Khaleke Hudson, that one play where the quarterback for Baltimore, who shall remain nameless because he was so amazing, when he ran into the end zone and Trevor was like, Hudson, he's gone, or something like that. And then Patterson, he's gone. And Peyton Barber, he's gone. There's nobody going to be left. As many guys as Trevor's cut.
We only need to set up like 45, right? I mean, that's it.
But the Khaleke Hudson one is that I said in one of these separate group chats with the WFT pods that we have, somebody asked who would be a surprising cut in camp, and I said Khaleke Hudson. I said he would be surprising, but maybe not that surprising. And somebody said, you think they're going to cut him? We hope he's going to be starting by week 3 over Bostic. But he certainly did not help himself. But like John there in that tweet there that he said, he's saying the linebacker group of Holcomb, Davis, and Hudson could be the future. I think they better get some more
Holcomb, Davis, and ...
Yeah.
I don't know that Hudson is going to be the future, but it'll be interesting.
He does say could, which is understandable.
Yes, he did put that modifier in there. That's true.
Surprise cut.
You
have one?
We got a cut.
Yeah, you
ready?
Uh-oh.
Cam Sims.
Oh, he's not getting cut.
He's my surprise cut because he can't contribute to anything else other than being a receiver. And Dax Milne shown last night he could take that wide receiver 5 spot if he wants to.
Cam,
what we're gonna keep DeAndre
plays all the teams,
but he's
Cam Sims isn't getting cut. If Cam Sims was going to get cut,
he's my surprise cut.
If he was going to get cut, he would have been suited up last night.
No, because they already know what Cam has, so there's no need to have him suit up to show what he doesn't do, which is
you have him. You absolutely need to see him play more.
He's my surprise.
If he were that much of a cut, Trevor,
if he were mine, this is my cut. Why could I have?
I'm just letting you know why you're wrong here. If he was that much of a cut, they would have cut him already. They don't sit there and have a guy put on a ball cap for the 3rd preseason game just to get them cut the next time. No, he's a lock.
And here's another thing. Trevor.
I think Carter's going to be the one who's going to be cut that people are going to be surprised.
No, we need a return game
and that's what I'm telling you. This is where Dax Milne has the opportunity to slide in.
That's what he does in the NFL. So that's where Cam Sims is gone. AGG, DeAndre Carter, and Dax Milne ran out the wide receiver room, and Cam Sims is going to be cut.
He's not going to. And you know what? Somebody asked. Ron Rivera had a press conference today, and somebody asked him again in general. Who has stood out in camp this year? And who was one of those that he named? Cam Sims. said he has.
He has to say that.
No, nobody asked him if Cam Sims stood out.
Because they're going to trade him.
He's who stood out, and there was like 5 guys that he named, and Cam Sims.
He named Isaiah Wright.
No, he didn't.
Isaiah Wright.
No,
He did.
Didn't.
You're right. He didn't name him. He
Today.
didn't name him.
I'm talking about
Not
today.
today's.
That's what I'm talking about today. He said Chase Young, Montez Sweat. I can't remember who all. There was only like 5, and then the 5th one was Cam Sims.
It's trade bait for all these teams.
Okay,
no
you
one's
said
trading
cut.
for Cam
You said
Sims.
cut.
No one,
Either way, it's waiver wire bait, it's trade bait, it's cut bait. The man is going to be if there's a surprise cut, that's my surprise cut. He said surprise cut.
I respect
that's the point of it. It's a surprise.
We're going to burgundy and gold you, so you're going to have to. We're going to put you in timeout. We're going to mute him as he's muted himself, folks, to get his microphone fixed there. So he's got a new mic coming on the way, or at least he will here shortly. So. We're gonna upgrade. Of course, you're talking with our Ref the District people. If you're one of our viewers, you can comment and let us know what you think about Trevor cutting Cam Sims. You can either do that at Trev Stores WFT, or you can just hit us up at Ref the District as well, or just right here. We have a great question, and we brought this up ourselves here. This is why did Tim Settle play all night last night? Are they putting on the trade possibility list? So we did talk a little bit about this when it came to Bottas. Did Bottas play do well enough to make Tim Settle expendable?
No, I think there were a few guys out there that had to play because it's just a simple numbers thing. That if you're going to sit, and I counted them, 32 guys off of your roster, somebody has to play, and somebody has to play a lot. And Tim Settle just had to suck it up and play a lot. There was a few of them. There were the guys like I said, John Bates was a guy who had to play a lot. Jimmy Moreland had to play a lot. DeShazer Everett had to play a lot. Some guys just had to play because somebody had to play.
How sure are you that Everett's going to make the final roster?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure.
You
guys are pretty confident about that.
Special teams, man.
Special teams is pretty good.
Now you want to talk special teams.
That's probably where our district diamond is going to shine, I think, is in special teams, because the district diamond, the Ref the District diamond is that player who is the surprise, or maybe not so surprising, quality player that Washington has during the preseason, that Washington fans fall in love with. The person running away with this going into the 3rd preseason game was Jarrett Patterson, but he was one of our no-goes. Is there another person who's going to be named this season's district diamond?
Maybe Dax Milne. A lot of people are falling in love with him, thinking all of a sudden, like Trevor, thinking he's going to take a roster spot. He's not taking a roster spot, I don't believe. He's a practice squad guy. Nobody's gonna steal him. 7th rounder or whatever, 6th rounder, whatever he was.
We're not talking about making the 53. We're talking about being the darling of preseason.
Well, Dax Milne is one of those.
So Dax Milne is going to be your district diamond?
Yeah,
because Patterson had a bad game yesterday. I will say this: Patterson had a bad game statistically. His pass blocking skills were good.
Yes.
So that's how he's going to end up making the roster. They're going to allow him to have these hiccups of the drops and the bad, rushing yards. But the fact that he was out there and doing a good job pass blocking, that's how rookies make the roster. I miss Clinton Portis lighting people up.
Oh yeah, he was very good.
That's
that.
How he takes Peyton Barber's role, because Peyton Barber does not block in pass protection. You saw that. He had a whiff on one last night.
He did.
As did Patterson. Had a whiff as well.
Yeah, but that's expected. But Peyton Barber's a veteran. That's his job. That's his role, and he still whiffed. So
you know what I think is going to end up happening with Patterson? I think he's going to initially make the 53, and then when all this crazy stuff happens, when people are picking up other guys on the waiver wire and these little trades here and there and all the craziness before the first game, he's going to end up at some point when kind of the dust settles, then he's going to end up on the practice squad. That's what I think is going to end up with Patterson. Initially, on 53, And then after the dust settles,
just preserve him a little bit.
Yeah.
As he says, Patterson had a bad night because Kyle couldn't throw to him. And Kyle did look awful, and some of those passes were certainly bad. But Patterson definitely didn't do himself any favor. Trevor, are you sticking with Patterson? Jazzy's sticking with Patterson.
For District Diamond?
For District Diamond, or are you going to go the Dax route that Stoner did?
I'm going to go the Dax route that Stoner did. Simply because he's done some. He's contributed in every single preseason game. He's done something positive in every single preseason game. He really hasn't had anything bad said about him. Like, he hasn't had any blatant drops. He just didn't have many targets because of the quarterbacks that we have are garbage after Fitzpatrick. So, but he showed that he can, kind of like a Terry McLaurin, kind of like, I'm not comparing him by that, like by any means, but Terry caught the ball from several different quarterbacks. Dax Milne kind of has two and showed that he can catch the ball from anybody, or at least our quarterback. So I'm with Stoner on that. Dax Milne.
All right. Well, we got Samus Reyes from the comment section.
I was going to bring him up.
Yeah, we got burgundy and gold there as well for Trevor. But Samus Reyes is definitely he's definitely been a darling of the preseason. I think because he missed the second game, even though we have the point being made that play or not play, the fact that we fell in love with him, and I do think that he's a sneaky pick for the 53 still. So I mean, I have $1 writing on it, but
I don't.
I don't. Your tight end group is Logan Thomas, John Bates, and Ricky Seals-Jones.
You really love RSJ.
Because think about it. Samus Reyes played first preseason, caught a couple balls, didn't play second preseason, played a few snaps, caught a ball. I mean, he didn't. I mean, I know you can't knock he was injured, but that's part of the game. So he didn't have
availability.
Availability. Yeah, like keep him though. Definitely keep him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he does. So you got to keep him for sure. But I just don't think on the 53.
I agree.
That's unfortunate because I do have that $1 writing on that one. We're going to go ahead and
give it up.
We're going to go ahead and name Dax Milne this year's District Diamond. So I think that's fair. He's definitely somebody who's, I think people would love to see more of, and he might get that opportunity whether or not he makes the 53 or not. So now we've picked our District Diamond. We've talked about go-goes and no-goes. It's time to pay it up. Dollah Dollah, guys.
Yeah.
So we had quite a few bets made during our Thursday show.
Dollah Dollah doll.
I need that doll.
Dollah doll. Let me put that right there.
Order my mic online. I'm ordering my mic live right now.
All right. Nice. It has been ordered.
No games.
All right. You guys ready for this?
All right. Let's pay it up.
Forget all about it. I didn't tweet it out this time. So pretty much everybody's forgotten all about all the bets that we made, or at least a lot of them. First of all, Trevor, you can go ahead and pay this one now. Did you order plates? Nice job there, Trev.
Okay.
And go ahead.
I'll pay you now.
Pay now this that Trevor said he's going to win his fantasy football league, right?
Yeah, I am.
We heard what you got on that league. Just go ahead and pay it now. All right.
Okay.
But only Nathan. I didn't bet you on that. I don't know why.
We'll come back to that.
That's a season long bet. All right. So both Trevor and Chris said that. Both Trevor and the Stoner.
Yeah.
Both said that Kyle Allen would throw 2+ touchdowns.
We were so confident, Stoner. We were so confident.
Easy dollar.
Easy dollar for Nathan.
That's great.
All right. Here's one that one. Almost won. I almost won this one. I said D-Hop would make a 50+ yard field goal. Now he had a 48-yarder, right? And then his 55-yarder, that was one of the worst.
It was a horrendous attempt.
And for the record, it was not blocked. It was not blocked. For the record.
Okay.
It was not.
For the record? All right.
Yeah.
So Nathan and Trev both took $1 on that. All right.
Is that 2 for 2 now? I'm 2 for 2?
You are 2 for 2. And if you count Trevor's fantasy football league, you'd be 3 for 3.
Be 3. We'll definitely keep a running tally later on.
All right. Both Nathan and Trevor said that Dax Milne would be the leading receiver in yards, and he was not. AGG was. AGG had like 39 yards. Milne had 36.
Oh, so close. Dax.
So Stone wins that one. All right, here's a real simple one. Trevor said Washington would win. Nathan and I said, no, they won't. All right, here's a really good one that we totally forgot about. Stoner said, well, first of all, I'll do this one first. Stoner said that Jamin Davis would have an interception. Okay. Only Nathan said no.
Yeah, he didn't even play.
Trevor, listen to this.
Right.
Trevor said Jamin Davis would not play, and he nailed it. And both Nathan and I said he would play. We said, of course he's going to play. He needs to play.
I remember how confused we were, and Trevor, you're gonna burgundy and gold right now. But I remember how confused we were when Trevor was like, he's going to get an interception, and then the very next bet, he's just like, he's not going to play. We're like,
yeah, right. No, that was just me that said he's going to get an interception.
Oh, you thought he was going to get an interception? Oh,
yeah. And Nathan was the only one that said no.
Oh, yeah, he definitely was going to.
All right,
and then he didn't even play.
And Nathan said that the Washington football team would get 3+ sacks. They had 2. So, and only Trevor took that bet. So Trevor
game of inches. A game of inches.
Nathan had it 28-24 Ravens. Trevor had it 26-17 Washington. Stoner had it 26-17 Ravens. So we were all just
none of us were close on that. So that's our dollar section. You can always join the fun. You don't actually have to pay us up if you lose, but it's just a fun little segment.
Yes, you
I've got records. I've got records.
We got receipts.
So can you do a quick recap of the dollar? How much money did we all win on this dollar bet?
On this one? All right. So let's see. You guys keep talking. Let me
I'm about to say, let him do the math to himself quietly, and I'll explain what Dollah Dollah is. So Dollah Dollah, you can join us on our Thursday show, the regular Ref the District show, each week during the season, and we're going to go ahead and give you some dollar bets that are kind of like prop bets. They're some of them are a little silly, as you have heard, and we just like to have a little fun with it. So if you'd like to jump in on that, just go ahead and watch our regular shows on Thursday, and we can put down your stats as well. Stoner's having to do math, so I'm not sure how long this is going to take him to do.
Nathan, you were 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah,
I guess I got $1 up.
Trevor 0-1. Trevor 1-1. Trevor 1-2. Trevor 1-3.
But hey, he got that last one.
2-3. 3-3. Trevor was 3-3.
Oh, there you go. A push. It's not the worst thing that happened.
So I don't know anything, did I?
0-1. 0-2.
Nope.
1-2. 2-2. 2-3. 3-3. Stoner was 3-3.
All right. So I claim victory for this week's Dollah Dollah because I'm the only one on the positive side of the house. So thank you. We'll have to get the stats for the entire preseason. We'll share those on our Thursday show. We will have an additional show this week. Trevor, you got something to say?
Yeah, you guys didn't give out your surprise cuts.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up because we don't have to make those surprise cuts because we're going to have our friends of the show do that for us. So the 53-man roster, the Washington football team pod projections will come out tomorrow at 7. We're going to air those live. What we did was we requested from several different pods that are out there, content creators, to go ahead and give us their predictions on a certain set of groups. So all we did was we played GM and we set the standard as far as how many offensive linemen will be kept, how many receivers, how many safeties. So all we did was set the number, and then we asked them to go ahead and create a little video. So we're going to have a little fun with that, and that's going to be tomorrow again here on your platform of choice, whether or not that's Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. You can catch us live tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the 53-man roster WFT pod projection. As far as surprise cuts, we do have our man Trev thinks that that Cam Sims is on the way out the door. Any surprise cuts you think, Stoner, that you might want to throw out before or do you not want to taint the water? I know we've got a couple of videos already in from the content creators, but
I like I said earlier, I think Kaliki Hudson might get cut. He just might get cut. He's only a second-year guy. So, and now when we say cut, if he goes to the practice squad, that's still cut. Right,
still cut. He doesn't make the 53. He
he
got walking papers.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I think he would be a surprise cut. That's for sure. And so if he does, that's my guy. But again,
Lawrence on the defensive line, is that a surprise enough for people? I feel like if he's cut.
Trevor Lawrence?
No, I don't think he's got a legitimate shot at making the 53.
I know some people like him pretty well, but yeah, I think with Bada, Settle, I think you have enough people on the interior.
Wise. Daniel Wise is good.
So, it'll be interesting.
Well,
so
you know what I want to know though, also, is I would actually like to hear from both of you all to give like from what happened yesterday, if you feel that play, that game that happened yesterday is a problem, is an issue, is a reflection of the team, are you worried? Does it cause you concern? Is it that easy to just throw it off to the side?
Yes.
It is that easy.
It is that easy. I think honestly, there are some concerns that are valid. I still think that kicking is a concern that's a valid concern. I still think that you have the linebacker depth is an issue. I don't think the starting linebackers are all that bad. I'm not high on Bostic. I think that he's decidedly mediocre, but really I do think that they'll at least be able to hold their own, So I think that you're going to see that all the craze on right now is about the 5-2. So, I think you're going to see that deployed, and you're going to see, Landon Collins, Cam Curl, and another, probably McCain is probably out there as a free safety in that regards. So I think you're going to see, some mix up of the defense, so the linebackers aren't too bad. So realistically, this game was just a glorified practice that we just had to pay for and witness, and unfortunate.
All right. So Trevor, let me ask you this then. I think you feel the same way about that, as far as the importance of it or not. What if Washington had gone out and won 37-3? What if they had just annihilated, not with their ones, but with the exact same team that was out there? What if they went and annihilated Baltimore 37-3? Would you not have a completely different outlook on this team? Wouldn't you not be saying this is the greatest depth that we've ever seen with this team?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then why can't we feel just the opposite when they don't do well?
I do. I'm not happy about last night. I don't care about the score. If we lost, we lost. But this is the preseason is to show you who's the next man up in case that happens. And we displayed that we're not going to be okay if we have to call next man up at certain positions. Look at Baltimore. Their quarterback is an exact replica of their starting quarterback. Literally. Their running backs, Gus Edwards, he's a valuable running back.
They're going to need that with J.K. Dobbins. Hopefully he has
really
a good recovery. Always sad to see that kind of injury, but that's why they didn't play the starters, right? They were like, we're not going to risk this. We're going to let them get out there.
But I'm a little concerned. Linebacker, not as there's certain areas that have a higher level of concern than others. Linebacker depth, like you said, maybe defensive line a little bit, a couple edge rushers, and I think that they can be addressed during the waivers in the next a few days, a few weeks.
Maybe.
But other than that, I'm a little concerned. Our depth is not ideal in certain spots.
I would like to have seen an edge rusher show up with Chase and Montez both sitting. Shakatoni got a lot of playing time. He looked small compared
He needs to be a
those offensive
linebacker like he was in
linemen.
Penn State. Yeah.
So, make him a downhill running linebacker. But
yeah, and that could be better depth. But as a defensive end, that's not his spot.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. Although, again, if you lost 37-3 or you lost 14-13, that doesn't really matter. What matters is what you see there out on the field in individual plays, and maybe how Samus Reyes is blocking, or is Dax Milne getting separation from a second or third string cornerback for Baltimore, or is Khaleke Hudson recognizing the play right away and playing downhill? All those things matter. The scores don't matter, but you just saw just a lot of wide open receivers, missed assignments,
missed tackles.
Yeah,
maybe they just need to get this one out of their system. Maybe that's what it was. Just got to get it out of your system.
There is no sort of set way template to do things in the preseason. Nobody has said, this is the way to do it. This is what works. Some teams play their guys 3 of the games for plenty. Guys like some of these quarterbacks who have played all 3 games. Baltimore only played Lamar Jackson this 1 game. Some guys don't play at all, right? Like the Chargers. Guy in the Chargers, Herbert. He didn't play at all this preseason. We don't know if that's going to work or not. He didn't have any preseason last year, and he came in that second game, didn't even know he was going to play, and then just went out and had a bomb game. And then the rest is history. He's going to be a freaking Hall of Famer the way he's going. So you never know. You never know.
We just showed other teams.
Yeah, Baltimore went out there and had their starters go for a little bit, and look what happened. They lost one of their best players to injury. Now, who knows? That could happen in practice. That could happen with him walking outside the weight room and slipping on some water and blowing out his knees. That can always happen.
Who was it? Was it D. Hall who was injured in his kitchen? Like he slipped and he did his Achilles, right?
Yeah, so you never know.
You're right. It could happen anywhere, but it happened in the game, in a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
what we're doing is we're showing other teams that, they ain't nothing after their starters. Like, let's just if we double team or like take this person out, whatever, we're good. Like if we make them not valid, if that we show that our depth is gonna get ran over. So that's a concern.
Yeah, we never know though. Who knows? If Khaleke Hudson's out there and he's playing next to Jamin Davis and Holcomb, and he's got Young and Sweat and Ioannidis,
he might look like an all-star.
He might look like the best linebacker in the league.
Your boy Trapke, who did not have a great game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to mention Trapke's season. Okay?
By the way, Trapke's on this team. He's on.
He's on. He's for special teams. Yep. He is, and that's the reason why Cam Sims is a surprise cut, because Troy Apke provides better special teams depth than Cam Sims does. They're better wide receivers.
Barber was out there a lot in special teams too, so we're going to keep him because he's been a first team special teams guy.
Cam Sims is getting cut.
No, he's not in a million years. Not in a million years.
Well, we'll have to find out in our 53-man roster projection that's happening tomorrow
Tuesday
at 7.
I'm sorry.
Final cuts come Tuesday. Our projection show will come Monday.
Tomorrow.
You'll catch us live again on Thursday for a full show. This is our last day after reckoning until September 13th. So it'll be a minute. You'll have to find out what we think about the upcoming season and the Chargers game as we get closer to those, because we do have 14 days to wait. 2 whole weeks, guys, without another football game. Do you think you can make it?
I mean, do I got a choice? If I had a choice, I would say no, but
but we don't have a choice.
So
we're going to have to rewatch the games, these games, just not this game. This game, we could lose the film on this one.
Burn it.
All right. Well, this has been Ref the District's Day After Reckoning. I'm Nathan Perry. We've got the Stoner, and we've got Trevor down there as well. You can catch us at our particular Twitter sites or at Ref the District for all of us. And until next time, be a fan.
Be a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are Nathan and the Stoner. Yeah, that's Ref the District. Podcast. Come on now and join us. Join it.